Well, hello YouTubers. This is Don with Truth Hunter's Quest. I'm with my brother Craig and my old friend Robert. We are at the National Museum of Funeral History. It's the entrance. It's in Houston, Texas. If you're out this way, you got to check it out. We're going to take you in with us. We're going to show you around a little bit. It's I think it's like $15 regular, $12 for seniors. So come along and enjoy. Well, here we are at the presidential funerals. We kind of keep this kind of quiet. Okay, here's the car they're going to carry me in. Right here. This was the car.
That's the car's going to run over you. What are you talking about?
The car that pulled Ronald Reagan and Gerald Ford in this one. There's a map you want to look at.
Nah, I'm going to wing it.
Yeah. That's Craig, there's Robert. See about all the presidential stuff they got here. Like I say, it was $12 to get in for seniors, which I'm a senior. George Bush, Houston Services. There's a barn there, blah blah blah. Let's see what's this for. Yes, that's a presidential train. Somebody. Let's see what it says here. The Union Pacific Club was created in honor of George Bush, 44th president. The paint seen above is on Air Force One. I'm not seeing that. What do we got here? Railroad locomotive that is used to determine the direction of travel. Ooh, broke my knee.
Collapsed.
Your
knee collapsed.
Yeah, I just gave out just then.
I need in his airplane.
Yep, back when he was a pilot.
World War II.
Memorial. Robin Bush. They had a child that died when he was 4 years old. I didn't know about that. That'd be tough. Black fabric covered casket bar used for the funerals of Lady Bird Johnson, Betty Ford, Nancy Reagan, Barbara Bush, Gerald Ford, and George Bush. The swearing in of George Bush. There's Billy Graham giving the sermon at George Bush's funeral, I guess. Somebody. Ammunition box contained 121 gun salute at the Gerald Ford Presidential Museum. Wow. Spit the puppy out. Gerald R. Ford, who's in the military. This is at his Gerald Ford's funeral. Giving the 21 gun salute. The cannon. I think the cannonball ended up landing in somebody's house. No, not really, I just made that up. Black funeral burn. This belonged to who here? Sergeant First Class Alvy Powell. Lieutenant General Guy Carlton Swan III. Army Component Command, he's General blah blah blah. General's up, military uniform. Cool. This is the presidential section of the museum, presidential funerals. You know, I think I actually got a newspaper about when Nixon passed away. I remember Betty Carver's mom. She was a big Nixon supporter.
Yeah.
When I had that visitation, I told you, I saw her. She was brown hair. I didn't recognize brown hair. But I don't remember brown hair. Lynn told me she used to have brown hair.
Really?
Yeah, and I saw her. She was like on the steps, going like some big building, and I hollered at her, said something to her, and she said she recognized me. Said she had a lot of fun working with me and all that stuff. She always considered us like family.
Betty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it said she was fixing to go see President Nixon. So I guess we were like somewhere courthouse steps or something. LBJ, he was best friends with the Kennedys, not. He hated all the Kennedys. Roosevelt. You can read that letter. So we can read it later when we get it on the computer. McKinley, he was shot. Baltimore, President McKinley is dead. President Garfield. I got some old stuff here. More McKinley. Oh, Abe Lincoln pennies. I got them all. Just about. All the old pennies. Let's see where they go. I got a 1909. No. I got a 1909 VDB. I can't remember which one it is though. Got it all filled up.
Pat said you look good.
Oh, you sent it to Pat? Tell her hello.
I told him you got a big guy, looks old.
I looked, there ain't no looking to it. I am old.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, Mom.
Yeah, Pat was like a sister to us.
Yeah, she's still like a sister to me. I mean, every day, man.
Grant. Karen Grant's coffin.
I mean, look at that. I mean, this. She sends pictures. It's something every morning. Have a good morning. Just kind of have a great day. You know. I mean, every day, like clockwork. Matter of fact, I was on 12. She goes, "You got an anniversary this week."
Well, she remembers it.
She keeps a good calendar.
Sounds like it.
I gotta write you down and be able to look at it.
The only anniversary I remember is mine, because I make sure I remember that. I don't want to die young.
I got a calendar. I use it like, well, I don't have to worry about y'all's birthdays.
Well, I remember birthdays.
Robert's easy. Father-in-law's 11, Robert's 12.
Yeah, see, my son-in-law is 13th, my mother-in-law is 13th. Robert's one day before. Some interesting artifacts in this place.
No.
Check this out here. New York Herald, what date is that? 1865, April 15th. Death of the President. Old Abe. United States Secret Service. Funeral March. Marine badge worn by Abe Lincoln. Funeral. This is a replica of the gun that killed him. Leave your Lincolns. I don't have any Lincolns. I'm sorry. Replica of the death mask. Here's a wave. They dug him up and brought him down here. Still got a guard though. Pretty cool place. Very reasonable to get in. They're real friendly. Let you take pictures and videos. I called them up last Wednesday to make sure. Some places don't like that. But this is how I figured it out. I saw it on YouTube. And it's this funeral procession. There's carriage from the train that took him all over the country. I guess that's the route he took. Ended up over there in Illinois. Where he went to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 cities where he ended up. 12th was Springfield. 6 days in DC, Baltimore, Maryland, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. They got somebody I might know over there. They dug him up.
Well, you know, when you said, can you dig it, you dug it.
Dug it. Yeah, the hat said digger. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan. I didn't realize he was 93 years old. Him and Abe were probably two of my favorite presidents. I know a lot of people ain't gonna like that. Leave in the comments why I'm wrong. Original Peter Skelly's book with the Reagan staffers. Tells you, I guess, how to do everything. June 11th. Town is the same modern style used for the funeral of President Reagan. 700 masterpiece mahogany casket. Interior is rose red velvet. I'll open it up, show you inside. President Kennedy laid to rest. Kennedy was I was too young to remember Kennedy. He was another one of my favorites. This guy here, even though he was born in Texas, not so much. There's no eternal flame. John F. Kennedy. That's the original? That's pretty true. Of course, the original element used at the President Kennedy gravesite from 1967 to 1998. Every day. Pretty cool. Solid casket is the same model and style used for the funeral of President John F. Kennedy. Nice, real nice. Somebody touched it, got fingerprints on it. Nation buries its leader. There's John F. Kennedy Jr. saluting to his pop. George Kennedy, Johnson sworn as president, suspect seized. I actually have a newspaper from the Dallas Morning News. Got it in plastic. It still looks brand new too. I'll be selling it on eBay or somebody, unless somebody wants to make me an offer now. I can send pictures. Funeral procession. Right here. They got cupcakes. Give them cupcakes to take to the other side in case they get hungry. Little George. You got your pastor. Something. Oh, something charges $11.25. Funerals were cheaper back in those days, I guess. Eulogy for George Washington. They saw Thomas Jefferson up there. There you go, Martin Van Buren. That's one I never remember on anything. Uncle Ryan. Yeah, he was one of my favorites. Reagan, Kennedy, Abe over there. Abe comes and talks to me sometimes. We sit down and do theology and stuff.
Like the Reagan years were the best times of my life. I had a little picture of that little boy and there, his funeral procession. That's me. You were in the picture too, but you walked off. No, I was.
Yeah, I remember. Because I was looking for you. What I was doing was looking where you went. Then they got a picture of it.
There was a hamburger stand right there. I had to go get something to eat.
I didn't see it. Just too many people around me.
So there are pictures of
The 5 presidents.
Gerald, Nixon, George, Reagan,
And Jimmy. Carter was a good president. He just walked in after Nixon and everything was all went to hell because of Nixon. You know, it's like you go into a business that's messed up. It takes you a little while to get it turned around. It's not automatic.
One thing I can remember about that time period was that's when I was electrician. And,
Reagan here was just electrician.
well, yes.
Part of the Carter years, probably.
Yeah, because it was 19, well, I can't remember, it was 80.
It was 83, 84 when you became an electrician because we lived over in Madrid Court and you worked over there.
So you were in
Arlington.
Reagan. But still, everybody, Reagan was trying to fix everything Carter tried to fix, but he couldn't get it all fixed.
Or
Yeah, you became an electrician before we actually moved. I think you became an electrician before we moved to Madrid Court was when we so got over on the
Madrid Court, that's the townhouse?
townhouse.
Yes. Yeah, that's where I did become electrician.
Yeah, it was. I knew.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
about
I was
83.
already electrician when we went to McGee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was. And that's where you got the job at Delta too. He was living there. Yeah.
Yeah, he retired from Delta and Southwest Airlines.
That's so weird that happens. Like you saying that McGee and Delta, that reminds me. Remember when I had those flares? I used to work in when I first started working at Delta. I was in the RAF shop.
Yeah.
That old expired smoke. I did smoke. That's what it was. And that thing's like orange smoke, man. It fucking I lit one out there in front of the house one night.
In front of the house?
Yeah, I
It
remember.
fucking-
Yeah, big old fucking. Yeah, I
Really?
remember that. Yeah.
So,
Anybody called the police?
that's what I started thinking.
Remember the next door neighbor, a guy named Pat? The guy that lived there, the young guy that lived next door?
Remember Winnie somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, his name was Pat, so yeah. He was actually a nice guy. He lived over on the left side.
He had that Trans Am or whatever it was, something like that.
Something like that,
What we got here? I think we're getting into the bombing area. Bomb machine was used to embalm the body of President Harry S. Truman. Yeah. 1972. President Truman is dead. There's a little article we can read. Feel like it. Eisenhower. Now I got a Life magazine with Kennedy in it. But I don't have one with Eisenhower. Got that with my grandma. Discharged during, shell was discharged during the military salute honoring President Dwight E. Eisenhower. Damn, I don't know how many people are killed with that. Wilson dies, then peaceful end. There will be peace in the valley sometime. Got to be birds flying high up in the sky. Up blue. If I could dream. Actually, I played that song at my brother's funeral back in '99. He was killed in a car wreck. 37 years old. That really, I can't use the words, but it was really tough. Not sure who this all about here. Champion Mary Barrow. Porcelain and enamel metal burial vault. Fairchild Cemetery manual. Not sure which way to go around here. Isn't that way? George and Barnett Bush Memorial. This might be going into the Hearse section. Yeah, this is the Hearse section. That is nice. Camp Housing. 1921 Falls Hearse. Built in Illinois. 8 feet in height, 19 feet in length. That's pretty tall, I think. 600 pounds, 29 horsepower climber, 29 horsepower. Can you imagine that? The horses go slow anyway. There's no one here. They used during the snow, I guess. Sleigh. Late 1800s horse-drawn sleigh. There's the other one here. I can get over here and take a look inside here. Stick shift, all that stuff. Very interesting. It's not interesting too. Look inside there. You ain't see nothing probably. Yeah, this is the Hearse section. Another Hearse. Funeral coach, Nebraska, 1953. Let's see what it says here. 1929 Studebaker. They will still provide home for funeral service to provide ambulance service for the communities. I didn't know that. Just uses an ambulance and a hearse. Interesting. Hearses of the past. Now, if you're down here in Houston, you can come by and check this place out. It's quite reasonable. Not sure what the hell this is. Medicine Man costume. Yeah, that scared the spirit out of you. See that coming at you? I'll pass. Thank you very little. I think it was part of the Celebration of Life area. Here's another hearse. Thompson Funeral Home. $1938 Packard. Take a look inside there. Got a radio. As long as it's got a radio, it's good. I think it's got a radio. Nice looking car. I don't mind owning that. Freak my neighbors out there. have no idea what this is. How they build the coffins for the hearses, I guess. Marcella's casket factory. Yeah, he's supposed to make some good stuff. Closed in 2003. At least he used to make good stuff. Double decker. Husband, wife, and child, looks like. Let's see what it says here. Casket for 3. A couple of small child died. The parents of the child were so depressed at the loss of the child that they planned the husband to murder the wife and then commit suicide. Came to a mortuary. Western State explained their plans to the owner of the funeral home. They asked that a special casket be ordered large enough to for the wife and child and husband. Plans for the casket be built and murder-suicide committed and there remains a place to go. The casket was to be shipped to their previous residence where the child was to be disturbed, whatever, placed between the parents. Final related. The couple changed their minds and moved to another state. 20 years later, the wife sent a letter to the owner and learned that her husband was dead and she asked for money to be refunded. The owner of the funeral home replied that the seven had twice undergone a change in ownership since she and her husband had purchased the special casket. Funeral director stated that he was unable to comply with a request for a refund. His casket was here to be moved. No further word has been received regarding the disposition of the casket since the 1950s. So it's a funeral home. Or the name of the casket company it is. Yeah, here's your coin collector's casket. What year is those quarters? 70s. Yeah, they're not pure silver. That's where you're trying to take it with you. So they probably put hundreds, like cemetery here in Glenwood, it looks like they put $100 bills all over their caskets. This is the fallen hero part. Bagpipes. I've been to a couple of funerals where they played bagpipes. One was my uncle, he was a mason, and the other was my father-in-law, who was a Fort Worth police officer, lieutenant for I think 35 years, something like that. The life expectancy of a police officer after retirement of 20 to 30 years is like 2 years. He lasted 2 years. Look at the flags here. Dedication 9/11. That's more coffin or hearse. These are for natural burial. Basket. Case origin. Can't read no more. Can't see, can't read. Look inside there. Got a lot of them. This one would be cool. Let's see what it is. 1939 Superior LaSalle Mount Clair Hearse. $2,500 now. Guess you a whole lot more now. A Cadillac. 52 Superior. 51, so I can't even see. Red seats. got one ready to go. Take it with you. More Hearses. My battery went dead. I had a brand new battery when I came in here. I'm fully charged, not brand new. Okay, this is the Hearse part.